Right here.
So I just start.
Yes, please.
In 1960, California approved the California Master Plan for Higher Education. This plan was like nothing before when it came to the analysis and proposed structure of public higher education. So revolutionary and thought out was this plan that soon other states were trying to follow in California's footsteps for their own public higher institution systems. The California Master Plan for Higher Education sought to combine exceptional quality higher education with the broader access to students, transfer a collection of uncoordinated and competing colleges and universities into a coherent system, establish a broad framework for higher education in which each of the three institutions, community colleges, University of California systems, California State University systems, would concentrate on creating its own kind of excellence within its own particular responsibilities, acknowledge the vital roles of individual colleges and universities, and increase overall efficiency and produce a greater number of graduates. However, like most plans approved by the government, this plan has been revised and changed once every 10 years since its original proposal. It feels lost whenever it comes to dealing with the issues facing college students today. Today, college students are facing an even steeper uphill challenge to finishing their college degrees. Ever-growing costs are reducing college students' debt ridden before they can walk up to receive their diplomas. Added to their ever-growing cost is the limited number of students who can actually pay to attend college. With budget cuts being slashed year after year, colleges have been forced to cut programs, and the state is being forced to cut the amount allotted for student-funded grants, often awarded to the neediest of students. Resolved, public institutions of higher education in the state of California should be tuition-free. For the purposes of this argument, public institutions will be defined as government-funded or subsidized. Higher education will be defined as community colleges, University of California, and California State University systems of higher education. Tuition-free shall be defined at no cost to the students, covering tuition, fees, room and board, and parking. The current system of California higher education is flawed. The cost alone of funding a higher education at the lowest level, which is a community college, real students with enough debt to make it unfathomable to pursue a degree at the university level. Since the recession began in 2008, the amount of student loan debt has spiked by 84%, with borrowers owing a record of $1.2 trillion. Today, the average student owes about $28,000 in student loans. With the constant cuts to higher education, colleges are forced to increase fees on the students to make up for the loss of funds and continue to run only a minimum number of courses. This in turn limits the students who can access college education. The California State University system is currently reducing its enrollment by over 40,000 full-time equivalent students in order to better align enrollment with state support. Since 2000, student fees have been raised by 100% in order to compensate for the erosion of the state support. Shortfalls in state revenues required reductions in the state's subsidized public higher education. In response, UC and CSU almost doubled system-wide tuition and fees from 2007 to 2012, increasing by 5,556 at UC and by 2,700 at CSU during this period, caused directly by budget reductions that forced community colleges to cancel thousands of classes and sections. With the increase in the cost of higher learning, the accessibility to a college degree has diminished considerably for minority, immigrant, first-generation, or low-income students all throughout the state. Students of color, low-income students, first-generation college students, immigrants, and special needs students are primarily those being turned away from the citadels of higher education. It is telling that the state appears to be losing its commitment to access at precisely the time when the majority of college population will comprise people of color. As the state has cut funding for public institutions of higher learning, the colleges have also had to cut on grants, scholarships, and aids awarded to the students for the purpose of funding their education, which they otherwise would not be able to access at all. The system's main financial priority remains restoring course sections in order to regain some of the hundreds of thousands of students it has been unable to serve in recent years. Many more students have had to delay accomplishing their educational goals because they can't get the courses they need in a reasonable time frame. Another issue that is arising due to the ever higher costs associated with obtaining a college degree is the debt that students incur throughout the years they study. The debts tend to multiply fast, and while they may have relatively low interest charges, they also tend to have to be repaid immediately upon graduation. In order to solve this problem, we propose that California should rework the California Master Plan for Higher Education more towards the original model. Within it, it should set grade limits in order for individuals not to abuse the opportunity of a free higher education. It should further stipulate that the cost-free should only apply to UC or CSU transferable courses, anything denoted 100 or above. It should further reestablish how the California community college systems should be governed to mirror the UC and CSU systems to mirror the UC and CSU systems form of funding, so that they too can have a say in how they spend their money rather than have the government tell them.